Hi, I'm JD, and today we're going to be doing a quadratic equation. The quadratic equation here is x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0. So if you would, pause the video and see if you can do this problem on your own. Alright, how'd you do? Now there's actually two ways to solve this problem. Now, if you start listing out factors of 5, you really didn't get that far, right? Because the only factor, it's prime. So the only numbers you have are 1 and 5. Now, since this is positive, you're looking for a sum. Sum means addition. So is it possible that 1 plus 5 can equal the middle term right here, 4? No, not at all. So you're stuck. You're stuck either doing one or two methods. The first method would be using the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula has a little tune, and you could probably find many tunes on YouTube of the quadratic formula. It's negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then the other one is what's called completing the squares. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the quadratic formula. And the next one, the next example of a quadratic equation, I'll show you this exact same one with completing the squares. Because either method, you're going to find both solutions. So let's use the quadratic formula. And if you know the tune, you can just sing along. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. 2a. Yeah, so, I wasn't a singer nor a musician in high school, nor middle school, or any age of my life, so you could probably tell from that. So you want to point out here, this is what's called a prime quadratic equation. So in some maths, you'd actually just put prime. But if you're solving for, if you're like a upper level, then you're actually solving for x. I just want to point out that first, because I know some of you might be in, like pre-algebra or beginning algebra, and you might be told to factor, and if you're not able to factor, then it would be prime. When it's prime, it's unfactorable, and you're stuck using the quadratic formula or completing the squares. If that's the case, then this video's not for you. Alright, so here, it's just a matter of plugging in numbers. And sometimes on the side, I like to tell students, what's your A, what's your B, what's your C, just so that they know what they're plugging in. Because you have to make sure first that's in the proper order. That's in standard form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. You have to make sure it's in standard form. If not, you have to put it in standard form. Sometimes you even have to solve for 0 and then put it in descending order. If it's not that, hopefully you won't get the coefficients mixed up. So what's my a here? Yeah, it's 1. My b is whatever's in front of the x, which is a positive 4. And then my c is a positive 5. So then you just plug them in. Your b is 4, so you have negative 4 plus or minus 4 squared. I'm not going to do all the work out. I just want to show you what's going on. And then your a is what? Your a is 1. And then your c is 5. All over Yeah, 2a, which is 2 times 1. Then what you want to do is you want to simplify it. So I'm probably going to have to do, replace this and erase this. So you have negative 4. Order of operations tells you that this square root right here is a grouping symbol. So you want to do what's underneath it first. So you have 16, and then this is 4 times 5. So you have 16 minus 20 all over 2. Now I'm going to need more room. So you might want to pause the video. I'm going to erase some of this. Pause the video and write this down. So this is x equals negative 4 plus or minus 16 minus 20 is a negative 4 all over 2. Now you can still simplify that. You can simplify this radical right here. Square root of negative 1 is what? Yeah, it's an I. And what's the square root of 4? Yes, that's 2. So you have negative 4 plus or minus 2i all over 2. I can actually take that further if I want. Well, not if I want to. You always want to simplify. The answer in the back, for the most case, it's always going to be simplified. So you want to make it look, like for a better word, you want to make it look pretty. So you break up this fraction, so it's negative 4 over 2 plus or minus 2i over 2. And that simplifies to what? What's negative 4 over 2? Yeah, it's just negative 1. And then what is this right here? Yeah, the 2's just cancel out. So when the 2's cancel out, what are you left with? Hopefully you said 1. 2 over 2 is how much? Yeah, 1. So it's 1 times I. So your solutions, right? You have a solution because this is a quadratic equation. This 2 means that there's 2 solutions, always. Now, sometimes the solutions do repeat. Since the solutions do repeat, it's going to look like there's 1, but in reality there actually is still 2 solutions. Same thing with this. If your answer is complex, which is this form right here, complex numbers always, always, always comes in pairs and comes in conjugates. So your solution set would be your little brace right here, little braces. So it would be negative 2 plus, this is plus or minus, plus I, and then negative 2 minus I. And that is it. Now that wasn't so hard, was it?